Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. It is your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Reach out to me for product and pricing, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. In 2015, Patek Philippe launched the 7118, a mid-size Nautilus, and that's what we have right here. But this is the 7118/1200A-001 steel with full diamond set bezel. So now this is a mid-size Nautilus. If you were to measure it roughly from diagonal to diagonal, you would find that this watch is 35.2 millimeters, but if you measure it from wingtip to wingtip, it's almost 40, so it does wear larger than its rated size. It's 8.9 millimeters thick from lug tip to lug tip. The case alone is 38.3, and then a lug to lug, if we include the end links of the bracelet, the total horizontal distance is 43.4 across the wrist. So you'll see that this watch does wear larger than its rated size. I'd say it wears more like a 37 or a 38. You can see on my wrist of 16 centimeters circumference, it is just like that. Now, it's a lovely piece. It is actually discreet with its diamonds because they sort of melt into the white of the stainless steel. It's short across the wrist, and while it's certainly suitable for a man, it's also suitable for a woman, and you'll find it easily fits underneath a cuff, and I would recommend it for a wrist as small as 13 centimeters in circumference. Taking a quick look at the bracelet, of course, the Nautilus was designed in 1976 to feature an integrated bracelet. Designer Gerald Genta, building on the design language that he'd coined elsewhere with Rolex and Audemars Piguet in the early 1970s, integrating the bracelet so that it tapers down from the lugs. You can see even the bevel of the case flank continues along the shoulder of the individual links. We have polished intermediates, satin primaries. The removable links here are fitted using pins and sleeves, so you'll need a block and punch if you want to size this at home. We actually have a better clasp on the 7118 than you'll find on the 5711. It's a twin fold. When closed, you can see the Calatrava cross, which is the logo of the manufacturer, and then inside Patek Philippe Genève with little Calatrava cross motifs, and you can see it's internally polished. You have to press the twin triggers to release and open the clasp. It will not fly open due to inertia. Now, the case is complex. We've got a case back, a mid case, and then a bezel that is held on using the winglets. We have a push-down crown here. This Nautilus is 60 meters water resistant, and then we have the bezel. And one of the reasons I say that the Nautilus is a more fully resolved design than the Royal Oak is because with the Royal Oak you had that rounded octagonal bezel, but then the inner bezel, the dial, and the sapphire were all round. Here you can see the outer bezel is the same shape as the inner bezel, is the same shape as the sapphire, is the same shape as the dial, and they are beautifully set with those gems, which have the same color, carats, and clarity. Now, the dial's a little bit different than a standard Nautilus. We have different shaped indices, Arabic numeral 12, and then different shaped, roughly alpha-style hands. We'll do a quick loom shot right here, and you can see that the watch is probably better loomed than the 5711. The dial features a date down at 6 o'clock rather than 3, and a little bit of a lighter blue shade. You can also see that there are striations alternating in light and dark blue, and that they have a little bit of a wavy undulation from side to side, which makes them very different from what you find on a 5711. And then you can also see that there's a polished dimple-style seconds and minutes track outboard. In terms of motive power, most 5711s had the caliber 324, and so does this 7118. It actually better fills this case back than it does the larger case, the 5711. Unidirectional automatic winding with ceramic rotor bearings. It has a 45-hour power reserve. It has a quick set date, though not hacking seconds. Pivots on 29 jewels. It is adjusted in 6 positions. It has a Gyromax style free sprung balance and an anti-magnetic Spiromax silicone hairspring. You can see the Patek Philippe seal on the bridge that features the terminal end of the drivetrain and the escape wheel. With Patek Philippe seal and some of these other refinements, the watch is guaranteed to run no worse than -3 + 2 seconds a day from the factory. You can also see a number of elements of fine finishing, including black polished screws with chamfered slots in circumference, mirrored anglage on the edge of the bridges, and you can see that glinting and gleaming. There's engine-turned perlage on the base plate and then again on the center wheel, and then actually again on a reduction wheel adjacent to the center. Pardon me, not center wheel, but on the rotor's center. We have circular Côte de Genève on the rotor and linear Côte de Genève across the bridges, and then satination on most of the wheels themselves. You can even see the locating posts for the balance cock. Their heads have been black polished. So there's a lot of fine finish within and without this watch, all surfaces of which have been externally hand finished. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.